So, welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily MCQ Practice. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs through a set of 4 to 5 MCQs. The idea behind this lecture series is very simple. We want you to revise your current affairs on a daily basis, and what better way to revise your current affairs than by getting the much needed MCQ practice? Because we also want you to develop this MCQ practice, daily MCQ practice habit. This is a good habit to have. So please develop this habit through this lecture series. Because if you'll make this lecture series a part of your daily routine, then 4 to 5 MCQs covered on a daily basis would add up to more than 1200 MCQs just before your prelims examination. And that is quite a lot. 1200 MCQs just from the topic of current affairs are more than sufficient just for your prelims examination. So make it a part of your daily routine. All right. Let's begin today's session starting with question number 1. Consider the following statements regarding cabinet committees. These are constitutional bodies to reduce the burden on union cabinet. They generally have 3 to 8 members, generally cabinet ministers, but non-cabinet ministers can also be invited as special invitees. They are constituted or reconstituted when a new government takes over. How many of the above statements are correct? Okay. So the thing is that all the major decisions, all the major policy decisions in India at central level are taken by the cabinet, union cabinet. Now this cabinet contains cabinet ministers, important ministers like Ministry of Home Affairs, Minister for Home Affairs, Defense Minister, External Affairs Minister, and all these people, okay? Now, because all major decisions of the country are taken by cabinet, they have a very huge workload, okay? So they have devised a mechanism to divide this workload. Okay, different topics or different issues in India will be taken care of by different committees under cabinet. Okay, this division of labor or division of workload is the methodology used through or is the methodology of cabinet committees. So all the major issues, for example, economic issues would be taken care of by Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. Okay. Similarly, all the major political issues would be taken care of by Cabinet Committee of Political Affairs. All the major security related issues, like the ones related to the recent terror attack by the Pakistani based terrorists, okay, they would be taken care of by Cabinet Committee on Security. Okay, so all the major issues are divided, or basically all the major areas of governance are divided between these cabinet committees. This mechanism was devised so as to distribute this workload that the cabinet faces efficiently. Okay, now this is a non-constitutional mechanism. It is an extra constitutional body. Nowhere in the constitution or in any law these cabinet committees are mentioned. Therefore, these are not constitutional, they are basically extra constitutional bodies. And yes, their purpose is to reduce the burden on union cabinet, but the word constitutional over here is incorrect, and that is why statement 1 is incorrect. Now, generally, in all these cabinet committees, well, there are 3 to 8 members, sometimes 3, sometimes 5, sometimes 7. Okay, and these members are generally cabinet ministers. But that doesn't mean that the cabinet committee meetings, in these cabinet committee meetings, non-cabinet ministers are not invited. Non-cabinet ministers are invited in these meetings as special invitees. So for example, Cabinet Committee on Security has cabinet ministers as its members, but NSA Ajit Doval, Defense Secretary, okay, they are also invited as special invitees. Clear? So they generally have 3 to 8 members, generally cabinet ministers, but non-cabinet ministers can also be invited as special invitees. Absolutely correct. Now the thing is, every new government that comes to power constitutes its own cabinet committees. Okay, they are constituted and reconstituted when a new government takes over. Okay, so their life is as long as the life of the government in power. Okay, when Manmohan Singh government was in power, India had 12 cabinet committees. When Modi government came to power, we had 8 cabinet committees, right? Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, Political Affairs, Security, Appointments. There are many cabinet committees. So third statement is also correct. Okay, only 2 are correct. The answer is B. Question number 2. Consider the following statements regarding Cabinet Committee on Security. Now, the reason why I'm asking so many questions related to Cabinet Committees, especially Cabinet Committee on Security, is because Cabinet Committee on Security is in the news these days because of the recent terror attacks. Okay, so many articles have featured with respect to Cabinet Committees. That is why I featured this. Okay, so yeah, Cabinet Committee on Security, CCS. Prime Minister as chairperson, it has Ministers of Defense, External Affairs and Home Affairs as members. Okay. It takes care of appointments of officials in the national security bodies. National Security Advisor, Cabinet Secretary and Defense Secretary have also been attendees of the CCS meetings. Okay. So Cabinet Committee on Security is the primary committee, is the top committee for taking all decisions with respect to security of India. Okay, so all major decisions, all major policy decisions with respect to security of India are taken by Cabinet Committee on Security. Now, CCS has basically 5 members. Okay, Prime Minister acts as the chairman of CCS. Okay, then there are ministers for home, defense, okay, external affairs and finance. 4 ministers, cabinet ministers are members. Prime Minister acts as chairman. So this committee has 5 members. Okay. So with Prime Minister as chairperson, absolutely correct. It has ministers of defense, external affairs and home affairs. No, it has finance minister as well. So first statement is false. Okay. Now there are many functions that CCS performs. Okay. And all those functions are related to security of India. Now that includes, well, appointing heads of or appointing basically officials of national security bodies like Indian Army, Indian Air Force or CRPF, okay, BSF. All these major appointments of officials are made by CCS. Okay, all major defense related decisions, defense related policy decisions, internal security related policy decisions, they are taken by CCS. So this is correct. Now, as I've told you that in the previous question also, that these cabinet committees do have members, permanent members, but they can also invite people as special invitees. So when it comes to Cabinet Committee on Security, well, these 5 members do attend these meetings, but National Security Advisor, Cabinet Secretary and Defense Secretary, they are also invited as special invitees and they have been attending CCS meetings. So this is also correct. The answer is 2 and 3, B again. Okay, question number 3. Which of the following statements are correct regarding Article 142? It empowers the Supreme Court and High Courts to pass any order for doing complete justice in any matter pending before it. It enables the Supreme Court to address issues where existing laws may not adequately provide a remedy. Usage of this article has been criticized on occasions for allowing judicial overreach. Okay. Now, our constitution gives an extraordinary power to the Supreme Court. Okay, what is this extraordinary power? This extraordinary power is mentioned in Article 142 and it says that Supreme Court, in the aim of or to fulfill the aim of doing complete justice, can pass any order, even in cases where it does not have any jurisdiction, it can still pass an order. Okay, so Supreme Court can pass any order, and by the word any, I mean this word any is very serious. Like any order means any order. Using Article 142, if Supreme Court feels that there is no law with respect to this particular issue. Okay, let's suppose Supreme Court feels that there is no law with respect to domestic violence. Okay, so Supreme Court will pass an order using Article 142 and will, in its judgment, will create rules and regulations against domestic violence. Okay, so using Article 142, Supreme Court can pass any order. It can use this Article 142 to create a new law also. Okay, to do executive action also. I mean, the power is immense over here. Okay, so Article 142 gives extraordinary power to Supreme Court to pass any order, and the aim of this is for doing complete justice. And what do we mean by complete justice? Well, Supreme Court is the final deciding authority on what it means to have complete justice. Okay, so what is the meaning of complete justice? Supreme Court will decide. Clear? Now remember, this power exclusively lies with Supreme Court of India, not high courts. Okay, all the other sections of this statement number 1 would have been correct except for this high court part. So this is false. Now, this power enables the Supreme Court to address issues where existing laws may not adequately provide a remedy. Absolutely correct, right? Now, some people criticize the usage of this article by saying that this article basically allows the judiciary to encroach upon the jurisdiction of parliament as well as executive. Using this, judiciary can basically extend its jurisdiction, or judiciary can enter the domain of parliament or the executive, right? So this phenomena is known as judicial overreach. So this article has been criticized in the past for reasons of judicial overreach. So this part is also correct. The answer is again B. And last, consider the following statements regarding Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. It is an autonomous statutory body that functions under Union Ministry of Food and Public Distribution. It regulates the manufacture, storage, distribution, sale and import of food to ensure its safety and wholesomeness. It is also the primary agency for preventing food adulteration in India. Now, to ensure that in India, everyone has access to safe, quality food, okay? Safe and quality food. Well, to ensure the safety and quality of food, we have created an agency that is called FSSAI. Okay, FSSAI is also responsible for preventing food adulteration, food contamination. It is responsible for regulating the manufacture, storage, distribution, sale and import of food so that it is safe and wholesome and nutritious also. Okay, so these two statements are correct. Now, the thing is that FSSAI is definitely a statutory body because it was established under Food Safety and Standards Act of India 2006. Okay, so it is a statutory body. It is an autonomous body, but it does not function under Union Ministry of Food and Public Distribution. In fact, it functions under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Right? So first statement is false. The answer is 2 and 3 only, D. All right. And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But it would add more value if you revise this lecture as well. And what do I mean by revision? By revision, I mean spending another 5 to 10 minutes taking a look at written detailed solutions to each and every MCQ discussed above. Now, these solutions are available on our Telegram channel. And the link to our Telegram channel is provided in the comment section below this video. Okay, so please do revise this lecture. It will hardly take 5 to 10 minutes. And on that note, I'd be signing off with the promise of seeing you again with another set of MCQs. Thank you, everyone.